Hello and welcome everyone to Legacy of the Void, StarCraft 2 campaign on Rocket Rabbit Commentaries, and in this episode we'll be finishing off this particular mission and going into the next one on Shakuris. Shakuris itself only actually has 2 missions. That is another small issue that the Legacy of the Void campaign has. We don't actually spend all that much time on any particular planet. We at most spend about 2 missions per planet, if that. Shakuris has got 2, Korhal has got 2, and then we go from there to... Where do we go after Korhal? I forget. I think we go Glacius, and Glacius I think only actually has 1.
No, just the name Amon's Reach as a title for any of the missions among the next set that we do. It's really laying it on thick, this development we've come into that... Yeah, they set a Chekhov's gun that is about as conspicuous as the rifle above the bar at the Winchester in Shaun of the Dead. Yes, eventually that gun does go off, I'm sure.
Behold, additional Dark Templar.
You, sir, are fucked. Good day.
Now that we're up to 13 Dark Templar, we can effectively just, well, we've been skating through this mission, to be perfectly honest, but now we can skate through it slightly faster. Only slightly, though, because you only actually need, like, 2 Dark Templar to really finish this mission. And having 13 is quite a bit overkill on normal. I do believe that on hard mode you can't get away with just spamming Dark Templar, specifically because there's more detection floating around, like more Overseers and Spore Crawlers. But now that we have the final bonus objective, we can go finish.
Riding in like the Nazgul of the Dark Lord.
Except the Nazgul aren't permanently cloaked. You know, they're shrouded in darkness, but you can see the darkness that they're shrouded in.
Yeah, I'm gonna miss using the Dark Templar. They are StarCraft's way of saying,
yeah, we're not
fuck
gonna
you.
use Dark
You don't
Templar
know how to
ever
play.
again, sadly. Legacy of the Void has this really big problem where a majority of the missions are built around the new unit that you'll be getting, and it makes it so that unfortunately for Legacy of the Void, a lot of the missions end up feeling extremely basic. And a lot of them have repeating objectives too. It's a recurring joke on Giant Grant games for the runs that he does, where effectively all of the missions, like I think it's 2/3 of the missions have effectively the same objective build, where there's 4 points on the map. Each point is slightly harder to get through, and you have a limited amount of time to get through them all. For the record, that's exactly how this mission is built, too. It just doesn't sound like it because it's so easy.
They're not paying any attention to us. It's so funny. Like,
yeah, they can't see us.
What the fuck were these guys waiting for? But if you go near the Overlord, then they could see us.
Yes.
And that's why we're gonna stay right outside that little circle right there, because it's the only fucking reason why the guy's
attack.
here. Huh, what's that over there?
Yeah, there's a bunch of Zerglings here. They are not a threat.
The launch bays have been reclaimed. Matriarch, you may complete the evacuation.
Woot!
You have saved my people, Artemis, and they will never forget.
Yay.
We helped Miss Vorazun. Yay! Alright, so we didn't lose any units. Let's see. Yes, we got all the Protoss sprays, and we did get that one as well. So there. So now we have to do a difficult thing, Mr. Cloud. We have a very sad cutscene here.
Tragedy. I am pleased to see you once more, Hierarch. I had hoped that our next interaction would be your announcement of Ayer's reclamation.
Me too,
As
Vorazun.
did I. Instead, the Templar have fallen.
Then the threat is greater than I realized.
We cannot let the same fate befall Shakuris.
It is too late for that. Amon Zerg poured through the warp gate as a tide of flesh and blade.
Not flesh and blood.
They run Telemetros and are nearing the shrines of Lazul. This world is lost. With such an infestation, Shakuras must be destroyed.
Gasp!
Boy, Shakuras. I will not permit this.
Permit? Shakuras was my people's home.
Oh, come now. You've lost a homeworld already.
I will not
You can lose
let this
another
world
one.
be a den for Amon's forces. Worlds may fall to ash. What matters is that we endure.
And here's where Vorazun proves that she honestly should be the leader of the Protoss right now.
And ire.
We are a vagabond people, Artanis. Our true home has always been Ire. Let us reclaim it together.
It is fitting that the daughter of Raja Gal
Dun, dun.
decides the fate of the world she helped forge. Let us make preparations at once.
If you recall, Rashagal ends up murdered by Zeratul at the end of the Brood War, despite the fact that we didn't show that. This is a majority of Vorazun's story throughout the campaign, though. Her dealing with the fact that Zeratul was, responsible for her mother's death.
The solar matrix.
Dun 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 dun.
No, we don't have a Star Fox segment.
Well, I mean, fucking, I can't help but notice that the Spear of Adun looks very much like Great Fox.
In places it does.
How long until you can bring its tactical
It's the nose. It's that the Great Fox has like a very noticeable like snout, and
Yeah.
Spear of Adun, of course, it becomes smaller towards the tip of the spear.
And a powerful ignition catalyst like solarite to restore it to full capacity.
Solarite? The Firstborn haven't utilized Solarite in millennia.
Many thousands of years. Oh, woo.
Hierarch, we will need to exhaust even unconventional resources if we are to bring it to bear.
Thankfully, a majority of the campaign has a bunch of Solarite for us to collect, which is nice.
Very well. You may begin augmenting the solar core whenever you are ready.
Now, a majority of the Solarite that we'll be spending throughout the mission is actually for Spear of Dune's passive abilities. However, that isn't to say that the active abilities on the Spear of Doom are lacking. Quite the contrary. My favorite one is actually Warp and Reinforcements, but we can't get Warp and Reinforcements for quite some time. And since we only have 40 Solarite, we're gonna end up spending all 40 of it on our auxiliary systems, which gives us additional starting supply and reduced construction time. Reduced construction time is not fucking important, because a majority of the time, since we're on normal mode, our starting base is effectively all we really need. But it is important. It is slightly important later on, just not right now.
Speed is
So,
king.
we also got access to the Dark Templar unit, so we can go and select its faction. The two Dark Templar that we have are the classic Dark Templar, which has got the Shadow Fury active, or the Avenger. The Avenger is the one that that is the total meme unit, but honestly, it has a particularly awesome passive effect, and since we're not going to be using it, I may as well explain it after we go through Vorazun's dialogue.
Of all the Templar, you never wavered in the belief that our two peoples could live in unity. It is something I admired in you.
Aww.
It is ironic to hear you say this. All this time, I believed you were reluctant to accept the unity.
Discussions of unity in my Amon's world. Ha ha ha. Amon be praised.
I saw my people losing what they were. I saw our precious old ways erode.
You wished to preserve them.
I am Nerazim, Dark Templar. I hold great pride in my people.
As she should.
You are also Protoss. That is the greater affiliation.
That is not what the Conclave believed when we were exiled long ago.
That is because the Conclave are dicks.
Our culture
We're
is
dicks.
all
They're
we
gone.
had.
Anyway,
We
now
are
that
now
Vorazun has shared that little tidbit with us, which we kind of already knew, the Avenger Dark Templar variant has the ability of Death Recall, as in when it dies once every 5 minutes, it will just end up warping back to base instead of dying permanently. It is a very, very powerful passive. It's just not actually useful in combat, because it's already a permanently cloaked unit, so it's very hard for the enemy to actually kill it.
The Zelnova Templar's phase prism can be overloaded, forcing a spike of energy.
And yes, as past Gerdat mentions, we've done exactly what we've done in this mission already before. The ending of the Protoss Brood War campaign was us doing exactly this.
I've been thinking about this choice.
Are you reconsidering?
No. My time here has reminded me of the courage of your people. That we must fight. If we are to suffer, then so too will Amon.
Ooh.
We will lure as many of Amon's hybrid and Zerg through the gateway as we can.
And then we will blow up the whole fucking planet.
Yep.
Overload the temple and flee.
You mean to bleed him? Bold. But we can't risk the forces it would require to do such a thing.
Leave that to me, Matriarch. I have learned much from the Dark Templar.
You have not learned how to stop 6 Zerglings with a single zealot, though. That is something I cannot do. Alright. This mission is... I like this mission in concept. I really do. It's effectively an expansion of the final mission from Brood War. The thing is, I'm not good at this mission. Like, at all. I didn't actually lose this mission going in, but I think I was attempting to go for the extra achievement at the end, and I just straight up could not do it. And it's because my construction and the lines of defense that I build for this mission are not great.
Used Kildaren monoliths to protect our lands. I see your face, Smith, has become familiar.
Zap. We're getting this new defensive structure though, which will help us quite a bit. The problem with the Kildaren monolith is that it has an extremely slow firing rate. So although it does a boatload of damage on anything it hits, you pretty much have to manually target the high priority units with it, and it's not a thing I'm willing to do. So yeah,
For real. Like, it's supposed, like, towers, it's great that they are stationary, so you don't have to micro them. But now we have a stationary that needs micro, because it will take too long for it to roll down, to run the gamut of enemies around it before it gets to the more important targets.
alright. This is the last time that we'll actually see Dark Templar be used in the run. So we are using the basic Dark Templar because, you know, the Shadow Fury is objectively a better active than Death Recall is, at least for the most part. And what we're gonna do before the mission effectively even starts is take down all 3 of the obelisks that are around the map. We need to do this in order to charge the temple beneath beneath the grounds. There is a little bit of micro that goes on for these fights. Like they will once they get down to phase 3, they'll start casting psionic storms, and you need to keep your DTs away from that. But aside from that, these obelisks go down very, very quickly.
Gather for an attack to the southwest. Ignite your blades, warriors.
No, we don't have blades yet. We still gotta actually transfer over to a warp gate so we can start spawning in Centurion Zealots. We're using the Centurion variant of Zealots for this mission specifically because the Dark Coil stun ability that they have is fucking amazing, because it's an AoE stun, and the stun lasts for I think a second and a half on any targets that it affects.
Yep, stun is fun.
Yeah, stun is very fun. Kill the roaches. Okay, now that the roaches are dead, kill the obelisk. Unfortunately, that one small wave of 6 Zerglings and 2 roaches ate up the entire shield of my Kildaren monolith. So we're gonna put down some shield batteries here in order to make sure that this Kildaren monolith survives for most of the mission. We will also eventually expand out into that second base area. It's just gonna take us a little bit to get there.
I find it hilarious how steady the rate of Zerg invading Shakuras is. Like, it's literally like just a clock.
Yeah. Avoid the psi storms.
Really, it's like
the psi storms.
it's an assembly line of invaders.
Yeah. It's what, like 100,000 every tick, and every tick is it? It's less. It's like one. It's a tick every 0.2 of a second, I think.
It appears to be, yeah. It looks like about 55 ticks a minute.
Okay.
Well, that would be 55. 55 counts of a. So 55 million a minute. No. Yes.
That's a totally different number.
55 million a minute is my estimate.
All right.
And in the next part,
In the next part, we will do a bungee jump cutting in order to finish this mission. Be safe, everybody.
yes, and remember, select your targets wisely.
At least attempt to.